you think about a lot of what's going on with AI,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so like when you're dealing with a lot of AI, we're right on the forefront of a lot of things with that. And so there is not a lot of places where people maybe have done it before, but you have to show and prove that you have a process, you have a methodology that, hey, we can take this, we can understand this, we can together kind of go across this informational divide and kind of get there together. So understanding and not being fearful of new technologies, right?
Right.
This is just the latest disruptor. This is just the latest technology, but there's always another Model T from a buggy whip, right? So this time it just comes in the name AI, but there's always disruptors in business.
Do you think that AI and the generative AI, do you think that's something that is more of a game changer, or do you think it's pretty much on par with past disruptions?
I think it's on par. It's just the speed of it, right? It's like some things they disrupt, and it takes a while. So if you think about when we went to word processors from typewriters, right? That kind of takes a time. So now just the speed of the change is just so much faster. But I think it's the same thing, right? Where technology and stuff are changing, and folks go through the same fears and level of understanding, and then adoption and acceptance. The process is just so much faster.
Right. That makes sense. Well, this has been incredibly insightful. I really appreciate the conversation. Any last piece of advice that you would like to give to our audience? And you could include this. If you were to speak to your 20-year-old self, the 20-year-old version of Ryan, what advice would you give to that version of Ryan?
No, I'd say, kind of move fast and break things, right? Don't think that you have to kind of stay into this kind of standard pattern. School teaches you in a lot of ways how to be a good employee. It doesn't teach you necessarily how to be an employer or an entrepreneur. And so I think that if you see yourself more in kind of that spectrum, go after those things that put you in a better position to be an entrepreneur. You don't get better at that by being a great employee. You get better at that by trying that and by doing that, right? Whether it's in big things and small things, right? So I think that I think keeping people first, right? Thinking about people, not always thinking about yourself, but putting on the cap of who you're trying to do business with, I think can be very beneficial. I'm a nerd at heart, and I'm a kind of lifetime learner. And so the thing I would say is always continue to be reading, continue to be learning, because there's always disruptors. There's always something new to learn. I think being inquisitive and being a lifetime learner, I think will always suit you well, because there's always going to be another disruptor. That's how technology works.
Okay, well, we're going to leave it at that. That was awesome. Appreciate your time on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe and comment. We love to hear from you what you enjoyed from this presentation, as well as what you'd like to see the next time.